Welcome back to another day in the life. This is Mike. So the goal for this video is to go over this auto environment or auto landscape material that I had created for this project that I'm currently working on. In this video, I'm kind of gonna go over some quick points and some things that some skills that I picked up along the way that I thought were pretty cool. So we're gonna touch on my material functions, the angle blends that I set up, the normal blends for blending in between the materials, some little bit of foliage distribution, the demonstration of some layer painting that you can do with this material, and as well as a touch on some little quality of life add-ons such as detail variation and even setting up a wetness control. So yeah, let's get into it. Hey, Post Edit Mike here. I just wanted to clarify that this is not a tutorial video. If you want to learn the techniques that I use to build this material, I'll put links to the various content creators below. They're fantastic people and I learned a lot from them. So with that out of the way, let's get back to it. All right, so what we have here is just a basic blank map. I took the liberty of adding in some height changes just for the example purpose of showing off the material. So we go over here to the landscape, of course, and this is the, well, first let's show off the master landscape material. So in the master landscape material, I have the slope material, which will blend between these two material functions that I made. We have the flat material, which will have the flat planes that blend based off of how high it is in the map. So the top area should have grass, and then the bottom area will have some sort of gravel or river stones based off of what I've put in there. We also have the slope blend between the two, so you'll see the blend between the slope and the and the flat area, right? This is going to be particularly special because it blends specifically with the pixel normal. So it's not going to just be a gradient effect. It'll also be it'll blend based off of the normals between the two, which I think is really cool. And then of course, we also have foliage, which I don't have connected right now, just for the starting of the example. I also have an RVT height section. I'm not going to be doing it in this video, mostly because this is experimental. And since I'm in Unreal 5, I was working on looking up ways to add displacement to the map, which I can do, but like I said, it's a little bit experimental. Anyways, I digress. Let's see what it looks like when I apply to the map. We're gonna go over here. Let's close that really quick. Landscape. Let me save this. I made some adjustments before I did this. Save. All right, and bang. So as you can see, this the materials kind of blend between the slope relatively well. There is even some areas where it has the river stone I was mentioning. In the environment I'm setting up, I have a river going through it, so it has that sort of blend material on it. If we go check out the let's pull this up. We're going to pull up the landscape, show how the blend works. So, let's close all these. I don't need these right now. These are actually from, I took these from the function of the pixel bridge material. I like the functions that they provided, so I ended up like repurposing them to work in the material that I was working in currently. So, so if you see here, we can see the this would be considered like the flat slope, right? Or just the flat material. And this controls the blend of it, right? So specifically, this is like the blend B based off of what I set up in the material. So if you check this out, slide this slider, it kind of grows how it transitions into the slope, which I think is pretty sweet. This one adjusts the multiplier. Well, we got to go to B specifically. So this one controls the multiplier, so it'll grow it a lot larger from here, right? And that's pretty cool. Let's see how that works right there. I was really impressed what I was able to pull off based off of the videos I collected. Yeah, within each of the material functions, as you can see, there's kind of like a distance blend going on here. Let me open up the control for it. In each material function, I added the ability to adjust how the material, like each individual material looks. That way you can go into the specific material instance and like make those adjustments on the fly. So over here we have like the blend range and what the far tile like size looks like. So actually, let's set it back here. So it was at 5. So let's say we increase it to, no, we're going to decrease it and make it like way bigger. We're going to send it to like 1. And then once we save, it'll also apply across. So it adjusted the size of the texture in the far distance. Right, and then we can also adjust the blend range. Do we want to increase that? Like adjust the gradient as well. Let's add it to like an extra 600. So as you can see, the blend went farther out as opposed to like being right here. That was pretty sweet. I added that. Ability into the function, so that was pretty awesome. And then so this allows you to make the individual like adjustments to, like I said, each material on the fly. So anytime I need a specific material added into the environment, I just go into the master material and do a swap around. Let's see what I have laying around in here. Go to Megascans, go to surfaces. Let's do, what do we do? We're gonna add, pick. So many choices. Oh, what's this one? Ah, yeah, we'll try this one. Why not? So add this function, drag and drop it in here. Boom. And then replace its spot. We're gonna take the result here and plug this there, and then plug that there. And then the height is apparently, oh, I know why that's doing that. We'll leave that alone for now. This is just an example. Boom. Now we can replace it and then make adjustments to this material accordingly. far tile, let us, we're gonna do, I'll set this back to like 1,000. And then make it a lot bigger in the far. It is already pretty big, to be fair, but let's make it even bigger. 0.5. Why not? Save. Boom. And then I adjusted the far tile. The beginning tile's a little bit too tiley, you might say, the first texture, so the close range. So let's adjust that. Let's decrease this. Let's make it 5.5 and then a 0.5. This does feel better. I like that better. It feels good. Anyways, that's enough showing off that aspect. I'm gonna actually put this back. Top material, material height, save. Boop. Okay, but on top of that, being able to exchange the materials relatively reasonably and all around just keep the graph a lot cleaner with these functions. I added of course added the ability to recolor in layers. And then, well, actually, yeah. Well, let's just demonstrate that really quick. So we're gonna select the landscape. And my plan for this, let's say my plan was to kind of have a lake over here. I think that'd be pretty sweet. I really like having water in my scenes. Let us make a lake really quick. Nah, let's go the other way. Right, that feels lakey, huh? Nah. And you can see as it goes down lower in level, the map like adjusts accordingly, right? Yeah, yeah, that feels good. Let's smooth this out a little bit. Although I made the outside, well, this is fun. Boom. There we go. You'll be able to see that as you add in like topology changes, the height will change how the environment looks, or change and update real time where things go. Man, I love that transition. Looks so good. Looks so good. So from here, let's say, since I'm going to put a lake here, one of the things that I added in as kind of like a rudimentary like wetness transition that I thought was pretty cool. I learned this in another like tutorial that I felt like I really wanted to add in to the environment. But let's check this out. Let's go back to the editor. We'll go to landscape. So one of the, oh, actually here, we'll check this out. So one of the things that I felt was important, since I said I wanted to add like water to the scene, is add in like a simple like wetness transition. I know there's other, I'm certain there's other ways to go about adding like wetness right, to an environment, like specifically adding like decals or like applying a material to a spline in some way, shape, or form. But I felt like for my project this worked out relatively well, right? So this adjusts the wetness based off of where it is, like a determined point on the map, right? I can also adjust the wetness and the roughness to kind of make it look wet. And this allows me to change the color of the materials at large, and then this one specifically determines like the gradient. So let's show that working out. So I applied that as a as like a script, right? So that way I can apply this wetness control basically on anything, right? So yeah, let's mess with it. We'll turn on the wetness control. Boop. So at a default, this is what it looks like. It doesn't look right, of course, right? But we go over to these controls here, then we can adjust how it looks accordingly, right? So right now it's the multiplier that's really popping off. So let's adjust that multiplier. I think we're just gonna give it a teeny tiny adjustment. There we go. As you can see, this is kind of where the wetness level starts. It's starting at 0, so that would indicate that that's at the 0 location on the map. So let's drop it a little lower to fit. There we go. Lower, lower. No. That's a little too low. No. Let's look. There we go. Yeah. Right, and then from there, let's add a little like gradient to it, so that way it kind of transitions. So it's like within the soil or something. Schwab. There we go. So that way, once I add in the lake, which I might do in this presentation, once I add in like the pond or a lake, it'll look like it has a wetness transition. Anyways, going back to the master material, as you can see, it's just like, hey, this is pretty barren. So what we can do here is add in, we're gonna add in the foliage. So what I ended up doing is taking this kind of angle adjustment that I built from following like this following this tutorial. I took that piece and then added it straight to one of these foliage setups here. So this is how I set it up initially. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do that, and then the rocks are gonna be here. And then if we hit save, it should populate. Hey, yo, that looks good. I love that. Ooh, so the wetness, which I think is pretty cool. I actually applied the wetness. Like I said, I was able to add it as a, I turned it into a function and added it to each one of like my materials as just like a switch. So anytime I want to make an adjustment to like one of these, like anytime there's water involved, right, I add it to, I turn on the function onto the material, and then adjust it accordingly. So this is what the result is. So this is all the same material. So let's go over to the rock. The rock. What rocks did I use? I used, I believe it is stones and pebbles. No, not that one. We're going to go to, not granite. I feel it was small rocks and stones. Hey, there it is. So if I open up this, you can see that I added this specific control to the master material, right? So that way, let's see, it's a wetness level. Let's drop this. Let's make it higher. Right, give it a little bit more of a bank. And then boost the gradient. Yeah. There we go. I mean, kind of just, it's definitely, it's a start. It's a start, and that's kind of the point of it, right? It's to kind of get a good start to work on a environment from there. So, next, let's show off the, oh yeah, the layer adjustments, right? So just in case there's like although this distributed automatically across, let's say we want to make direct adjustments, right? Like something's not right. Like this shoreline is a little bit too sharp, right? So let's go into the landscape and go to paint. As you can see, each one of these is a layer. Each one of the like aspects of the material has like a layer function. I added this one as like a custom thing that I needed on the other project. But I can adjust like I can manually add in the flatness material, which is just like the grass and the kind of river rock over here. We have the slope, which adds in the cliff rocks, and then also this kind of like sandy, pebbly transition. So yeah, let's add in another layer. Let's grab hello, add weight blend. Sure, let's just save it there for simplicity's sake, and then do the same thing for ya boy. Save. Save. So from here, let's say we want, let's give us some slope. Actually, yeah. So if we go over here, we could add in some additional like slope information, right? Let's say this transition is going straight from grass to cliff, and we don't like that. So let's go. Oh, wait a minute. Oh wait, it's too high. I'm silly. When it's higher up like that, it will do that sort of transition. Then we go over here. Yeah, let's say we want some more like grass coming down here, right? So we can add grass onto this slope accordingly, right? Or let's say the gravel that we added, like we want to make gravel adjustments. Add in that here. We like, it's like now sandy. within that transition. Oops, we go to slope. But yeah, you get the idea. I was relatively happy with how this turned out. So, oh yeah, so one other aspect that I felt like was important that I added into the environment is the detail variation, which I think is relatively cool. I learned this from another tutorial from, I think his name was Unreal Sensei. I thought that was sweet. Once I saw that, that kind of blew my mind. I was like, wow, that's impressive. So I really felt like I needed to add it to my environment because I just thought it was so cool. Over here, this landscape. So we have this detail variation node. Let's take away the grass really quick. Let's break this node. Boop. Save. Fwa. So we have this detail variation node over here, where basically it allows you to, it adds additional details across the environment to kind of also break up some of this like repetition as well. Here, I'm gonna go back. This is bothering me mildly. Sorry, small tangent. Grass. The far tile is just not, it's just not big enough. It's just not big enough. It bothers me. Save. Yeah, that feels better. It looks better. Yeah. Agreed. I don't know. It looks cooler that way. Sorry, but so if we go to, let's see, if we go to the landscape material, I have the detail variation controls, right? So if we add that in, it'll add in some extra material, some extra like color to kind of break up the repetitiveness of the material, which I think was pretty cool. Allowed me to add in some extra contrast. So let's say we want it to show up a little bit more. Oh, wait a minute. No. Let's send this back. Boop. Change the color. Let's say we want it to be a little bit darker, right? We can reduce the value. So that way we can go over to, now we go to the contrast and bump that up a little bit. Really see the adjustments in the map. Add in these little details here and there. Let's say we want a different color. That'd be silly. But yeah. Or let's say it's built up out of like the three separate detail sizes and kind of puts them all together, right? Let's say we want it to, right now we're really seeing that medium detail come in, so let's make the medium detail let's make it larger. That would be interesting, right? Or smaller. Right. Then we can send this one to, let's make that one to, no, that one's, nah. Let's make it, medium detail, it's unknown. Put that back there. Or let's make it, I don't know, let's make it bigger. Right, and then the smaller details, let's see, it's just that, let's make that a little bigger. 0, 5. Yeah, it's kind of showing off that smaller details a little bit more, but I thought that was a really cool like hack, and I just had to add it to the environment. But anyways, yeah, that is it. That's what I wanted to show off with my auto environment or auto landscape material. I'd never like built one from scratch before, and yeah, I had a really good time doing it. So I hope this looked pretty cool. As I said, I will add in the description the various artists that I learned these techniques from. So if anyone is interested in picking that up or checking them out, feel free to do so. But yeah, anyways, that's it. See you around.